In this video, I'm going to be showing you the best place to record vocals at home. And two of these places most people have and they don't even realize it. You can use these tips for recording rap vocals or any other genre of music for that matter, because these techniques are universal. And I'm also going to give you some practical tips on how to improve the sound of the room that you choose to record in as well. Now, to get started, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the drastic difference your room choice makes. Here's a quick example of a recording I did in a bad place versus a good place.
My rhyme's tighter than a thicker than the Corvette. We're in the chorus set, go ahead and forfeit.
Verse so far, they forgot where the chorus set. Only thing on my mind is where I'm going to record it. So my first tip for picking the best place to record vocals at home is avoiding the noise. Now, typically the best room to record in at home is a room that's not allowing a lot of outside noise to leak in. This could be noise from landscapers, from traffic, from construction workers, and just noisy neighbors. You also want to take in consideration the time that you record, because you may find that you have better recording conditions at different times of the day. So for an example, when people are going to work or when people come back home and they're asleep. The next step to picking the best place to record vocals at home is picking a room that has a lot of sound absorption materials in it. The more of these that are in a room, the less echo you'll hear when you clap. For an example. Now, here's a few common things to look out for that do a great job absorbing sound in rooms. Carpeted floors, rugs, thick curtains around windows, furniture that has thick padding such as beds and couches, and also bookshelves that are filled with books. Okay, now it's time to pick the right room. And for this example today, I'm going to go around the different rooms in my house and spit a few bars so you can hear the drastic difference that each room is going to make. And we'll eliminate the rooms that sound horrible, that aren't workable, and then we'll focus on afterwards how to improve the sound of the rooms that we do decide to keep.
My rhyme's tighter than a thicker than the Corvette. We're in the chorus set, go ahead and forfeit. Verse so far, they forgot where the chorus set. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it. My rhyme's tighter than a thicker than the Corvette. We're in the chorus set, go ahead and forfeit. Verse so far, they forgot where the chorus set. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it. My rhyme's tighter than the thicker than the Corvette. We're in the chorus set, go ahead and forfeit. Verse so far, they forgot where the chorus set. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it. My rhyme's tighter than a thicker than the Corvette. We're in the chorus set, go ahead and forfeit. Verse so far, they forgot where the chorus set. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it.
My rhyme's tighter than a thicker than the Corvette. We're in the chorus set, go ahead and forfeit. Verse so far, they forgot where the chorus set. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it. Okay, now that we've eliminated the bathroom and the garage from our list, let's focus on the remaining rooms and how to make them sound even better. And I'll be sure to provide affiliate links in the video's description below to all the gadgets, and gizmos that I'm about to go over with you now. If you want to support my channel, then make sure that you use these links, as it'll give me a small percentage of your purchase and it won't cost you anything extra. Now, if you live in a noisy house with a lot of people, then recording in a car may be the best option for you. Due to all the angles created from the glass and the abundance of absorption material, from the thick padded seats to the carpet on the floor and the carpet on the ceiling, a car provides a lot of sound absorption and can allow you to have a really tight, almost vocal booth type of sound. Now, one tip here is you obviously can't fit a mic stand in a car, okay? Now, you can hold the mic with your hand to record, but you run the risk of having inconsistencies in the mic placement if you move the mic too far back or too far forward while you're recording. And I recommend going 100% hands-free by using something called a crab clamp, which will allow you to mount it to the actual steering wheel, and you can actually mount the shock mount of your microphone to that. So you can be totally hands-free and you don't have to worry about things moving back and forth with the microphone. I also recommend using some type of microphone isolation device, such as the Chaotica Eyeball, which I'm using right now. And this is going to allow your microphone to be protected or separated from the rest of the room, being the car. And it's going to help block out some more of any sounds that may be bouncing around the car. And it also has a double positive because it has a pop filter built right into it to help control those plosives from your mouth. And typically I would still use an additional pop filter with something like the eyeball, but you can't, or at least in my case, I couldn't mount it to my steering wheel because the steering wheel was too thick. So I would just recommend just use the pop filter that comes with your device and just be very mindful of the plosives and make sure that you're not allowing too much wind to blow into the microphone and causing that sound. If the eyeball isn't a good fit for you, then check out the bootleg knockoff version called the Altron Vox Shield. And here's an example of before and after we made these improvements.
My rhyme's tighter than the thick girl in the Corvette. Wearing the corset, go ahead and forfeit. Versified, they forgot what the chorus said. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it.
Now, if you don't have a set of wheels that you can adopt as your mobile recording studio, then you may want to consider recording outside because it can get rid of pretty much all the acoustic issues that we typically have in buildings and houses because we get rid of all the walls. But there's still a few issues that you want to keep a lookout for. The first one is heat. Just ensure it's not ultra hot outside because excessive heat can potentially damage electronics such as your phone, audio interface, and computer. Also, you should never record outside when it's raining or snowing, as water can damage your electronics as well. And when you're recording outside, you also got to be very mindful of any excess noise that may be captured in your recordings from animals, traffic, workers, and the wind. And speaking of wind, if there's a slight wind on the day that you're recording, then figure out which direction the wind is blowing and then position the back of the microphone so that it's facing into the path of the wind. You see, if you're using a condenser microphone, it's important to understand that the back of the microphone rejects sound. So you can always face the back of your microphone towards anything that's making noise. And if you're using a dynamic mic, then there is no back. There's only the top of the microphone. So just ensure the bottom of the mic is facing toward the direction that the wind is blowing. And again, your microphone isolation device will come with a built-in pop filter, but I recommend adding an additional pop filter to help get rid of those really heavy plosives. This will also add an additional layer of protection from wind as well. And of course, you're going to need a microphone stand as well so you can be hands-free. Here's an example of how it sounds before and after we made these improvements.
My rhyme's tighter than a thick girl in the Corvette. Wearing the corset, go ahead and forfeit. Versified, they forgot what the chorus said. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it.
Now, there's nothing like the privacy that you get from having your very own bedroom to record in. Also, out of all the options that we've already discussed, recording in a bedroom is one of the best options for most people because it's just way more convenient because you don't have to set up all your equipment every single time you want to record like some of the other options that we've mentioned. But bedrooms also come with a fair share of their own drawbacks. Here's a few of those drawbacks and some practical tips to help you overcome them to get better vocal recordings in your room. First off, let's discuss walls. Think of every wall in your room as mirrors, but instead of your walls reflecting images, they reflect sound. Or in our case, they're going to be reflecting the sound from your voice. So it's usually best to get as far away from all the walls as possible by simply recording in the center of your room. But there's one wall that you can't get any further away from, and it's a wall most people don't even realize they have, and that's the ceiling. But one easy way to combat this is by placing affordable acoustic foam panels on the ceiling directly above where you're recording at. You can get a 12-pack of these that are like 2 inches thick for only like $30 on Amazon. And the more of these that you can get, the better. But if you can only afford one 12-pack, I recommend putting 4 on the ceiling directly above where you're recording at and 4 panels on each wall to your left and right horizontal recording position. But feel free also to experiment with moving those acoustic panels on the walls to the wall in front of where you're recording at to see which one sounds better to you. And I also recommend using 4 Scotch Velcro fasteners to secure each foam panel to your wall or ceiling. These are strong, they're inexpensive, and they can be easily removed if needed. And these fasteners come 24 to a pack, so you'll need 2 packs of these to secure 12 acoustic foam panels. You also need to combat any noise that's being made in your room. This means turning off the air conditioner or your ceiling fan while recording. But one noise you likely can't cut off is the fan noise from your computer. So simply position the bottom of your dynamic microphone or the back of your condenser microphone so that it faces your computer and blocks out some of that fan noise. Another thing that's always important to remember about microphones is they don't have a brain. They simply just pick up what's in front of them, which is you, right? But what most people don't realize is that you're not the only thing that's in front of the mic. You see, any noise that's being generated from behind you can also be potentially picked up from the microphone as well. This is oftentimes room echo from your voice reflecting off the wall from behind you back into the front of your microphone. And you can get rid of this issue by building a very inexpensive absorption wall to go behind you while you're recording. Now, one cheap and easy way to do this is you can just stand up a spare mattress behind your recording position. And this is a great inexpensive way to build your own makeshift sound absorption wall. But if you don't have a spare mattress available, you can still make your own absorption wall for cheap. And here's how. You can achieve this by getting an adjustable clothes rack. I recommend the Songmix clothes rack that you can get on Amazon because it's almost 5 feet wide and it can extend up to 6 feet tall, which gives you plenty of coverage. Then use a moving blanket to serve as your sound absorption shield. The moving blanket I recommend is 6.6 feet long and 6.12 feet wide, which will cover the clothes rack and you'll still have a little extra fabric to spare. And to secure the moving blanket to the clothes rack, I recommend using some inexpensive spring clamps. And then again, I believe using a microphone isolation shield such as the Chaotic Eyeball or an Altron Vox shield is a must for recording inside, as it will help with blocking any additional audio reflections from the room. And then once again, your microphone isolation device will come with a built-in pop filter, but I recommend adding an additional pop filter to help get rid of those heavy plosives. And then of course, you're going to need a microphone stand. So here's an example of how that sounds before and after those adjustments.
My rhyme's tighter than the thick girl in the Corvette. Wearing the chorus at, go ahead and forfeit. Verse so fire, they forgot where the chorus at. Only thing on my mind is where I'm gonna record it.
So quick question, where's your favorite place to record your vocals at home? And do you have any recording tips or techniques that I didn't cover in today's video that you would like to share? Please let me know in the comment section below. My name is Cole Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, where I strive to make you a better rapper now. And if you're trying to perfect your rap skills and take them to the next level, then make sure you get yourself a copy of my free ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping. I'll post a link in the video's description below. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more straight to the point, no BS, how to rap video tutorials just like this one. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace.
Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, and don't forget the bell icon. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Hey, I know you see that like button, right? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm gonna kill it.